Air Show. I am your host, Steve Suarez, with RJ Graham Plumbing. Joining me on to start the new year, start the new year of shows is Tyler. How do you pronounce your last name?
Roeske.
Roeske. Okay. And he is with TBR Construction, LLC. Tyler is a new home builder, and usually we talk about renovations or just newer, just home repairs.
Sure.
But now we're going to delve into the other side, which is the new construction, which can be very interesting and fun because they're exciting, but they also have their own
challenges.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So tell us a little bit about, well, first of all, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too, Steve.
And hopefully everybody's there. And Happy New Year to Kevin, who is running the show for us today.
Thanks.
Awesome. I don't get to see Kevin very often. He comes in every once in a while, but it's good to see him when he's here.
There he is.
So
no, Steve, thank you so much for having me. I started off kind of as a fan, and now here I am on the show. It's pretty cool.
I got a fan. Awesome. I got a fan.
Well, yeah, so Steve, TBR Construction. So I am a carpenter contractor, so we do the rough framing in the new construction end. And I did start a little home building, I don't want to say division, but a little bit. I've been building a couple houses here and there. But
okay.
So we specialize in the framing. I've got 3 crews, 2 crews of 6, 1 crew of 3. We generally frame on average 6 to 8 homes a month, which is pretty aggressive. It's crazy. Every year
that is.
I say, man, I don't know how we're going to do more. I don't know how we're going to do more. But every year we always, do more.
Now, on now, when you're building a house,
yes,
when you're building a house, because a lot of people, I'm going to tell you, they're, when they get excited. I mean, and why wouldn't you? It's like, okay, you look at your plans, you have your drawing, and you're able to pick whatever you want. You don't have to buy something that's already there and make it work. You can make this your dream home. You can do that. So you create dreams doing what you're doing. That's the fun part, and I know people really, really enjoy that.
Once people start seeing the wood go up, you
get really excited on it. But they do have their own, challenges to prepare for.
For sure.
So that's what we kind of want to go there and kind of take them to pull back the curtain, if you will. Now, normally, I guess you would say is, here's what we're going to do. Walk me through it. I'm going to build a house. So me and my wife, we decide, you know what? We're going to buy this house. We're going to buy a house. And we're gonna build one.
Mm-hmm.
And we bought ourselves a lot.
Yep.
We decided we're not going to go to a subdivision. We bought a lot, and we were able to. And we want to build one. How do we go about that? I mean, what do we do at that point?
So at that point, you would commit to some sort of a builder. Let's say you look at me and I say, all right, Steve, step 1. We would have a little conversation of. Some general things that you're thinking about, like you want a 2-story, you want a ranch, you want, just the basics. And I would refer you to an architect.
Okay.
And
now, when you say builder, that would be you.
Correct. Okay. Correct. Yeah. So, I mean, my business is the carpenter contractor, but I'm getting into the building,
Okay.
So where we build a couple homes a year, So I would refer you to an architect.
Okay.
You would go to the architect. Generally, architects have, a little book or a Rolodex of, stock plans that would kind of get your mind going on what exactly, you want. You would know your lot size. So let's say a standard lot, 80 foot wide, 120 foot deep. So, you need, depending on the village, you need a 20%, offset. So 10% each side. So you need 8 feet on each side, so you would know that. And then the architect would say, all right, well, so you could put a 50 foot home on that lot. All right. Yeah. I'm looking for a ranch. Cool. All right. 3,000 square foot ranch, cool, full basement, but so you start with the architect. That's the first level of commitment that you need. And then once you have the plan, then you could send it out to bid. So then I would send it to all the trades saying, all right, Steve,
your subs. And
Steve, give me a price on a plumbing, or and put it all together. And then as a general contractor, there would just be a GC fee, which would be just a percentage of the cost of construction,
right? And you would oversee,
and I would handle everything. So I would go through permit. So whatever, depending on the village, certain villages are easier to work in than others.
Right.
But I would go through everything, get you to permit. I would, unless there's engineering on the property, we would need to go through an engineer to, figure out the height of the home,
So any other nuances that you would be able to handle that. So basically you would be the point of contact with the homeowner as you're going through each phase of this project.
For sure.
So you would be handling the subs, you would be, supplying all that information to them and moving it right along as far as, your specified timeframes.
Absolutely.
Now the architect and they would be able to, obviously, any of the, I guess the best thing I want to say is any of the other issues or potential, problems that go along with building the house, like you said, about the 20% here and there. In other words, making sure this is going to work. The architect would come out and be able to check that out and give you all that information. So the homeowner, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm building a house, I don't know all this stuff.
No, I can't tell you how many times. Like, let's say we actually just framed a couple houses in a little cul-de-sac that a guy carved out, re-subdivided it, and the thing that no one would think about, because you don't do it every day, is just the placement of your home on the property. Like the way these homes were placed were all twisted, and so when you go to the surveyor, I would say, all right, hey Steve, you know what, I'm thinking you want to get a driveway to the back because you got a deep lot. Why don't we slam the home to the east or to the west or to the north, south, and get that. So if you're, like you said, if you're outside of a community, that's definitely the way that you got to go at it. I would say probably 80% of people building a home, they never look at the actual floor plans. They only look at the elevation. All right, boom, give it a quick look, and that's it. And then when the home's getting built, they're like, well, what, so with us, I probably built over 300 homes in the last 6 years, let's say. So, I kind of know like the new trends with how guys are doing showers and how things are, getting laid out. So, I always try and look through the plan, mark it up myself, go to the homeowner and say, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? I would say, particular to your trade, the number one thing that I see always getting chopped up and redone is the basement underground plumbing. No one usually thinks about, all right, where are we putting the furnace? Where are we putting the hot water heater? Where are we putting the potential bathroom in the future? That's the biggest thing. In the last couple houses that I built, I had, the whole basement drawn out. I even went in the basement, marked the foundation walls for the plumber. So it was right there.
I can tell you, I've been to many houses where it's like I'm scratching my head going, what were you thinking?
Exactly.
They have all the utilities just smack in the center of the house, and as you're doing that, you're like, okay, well, I've got everything in the center and everything is kind of working around it, and as you're working, it's just, sometimes it works depending on how you lay it out, and sometimes it's not. So it all depends on how it's done. But I think I would say that when you're building, it has its own set of challenges, and I think a lot of it has to do with doing a lot of research and asking questions.
For sure.
Because, again, it's a lot of fun. You're making it yours, but on the other hand, there's a lot of information that you may not know about, and you're going to find out, okay, well, as I'm watching construction, I've got why do I have a heating vent right smack dab in the center of my living room?
For sure, yeah.
Or I got a return right there, or maybe my fireplace is in the wrong spot. There's plenty of things that can happen. And I actually had one we did. This was a graystone we did. It was actually a renovation. It was up in Andersonville in Chicago, and what they wound up doing was they were converting it it was converted to a 2-flat. It was a beautiful graystone. It was converted to a 2-flat from a single-family home. And what he did, he wanted to convert it from a 2-flat back to a single-family home.
Sure.
He had an architect draw up the plans. They were a foot off.
Oh, yeah. Verify and field.
It was a foot off, and everything was off. And he was like, and we're looking at it, and when the framing was off, the plumbing wasn't in any walls because we're following the right one. They're following. Oh, it was unbelievable.
No, that definitely happens. And I would say, depending on the size of the builder that you're with, like you said, if you're building in a community, you're going to be a little more limited to certain things, because the builder that builds, let's say 1 to 10 homes versus 10 to 20 and 20 and up, you're going to get a different experience, I would think, or I see. You get a guy that builds 1 to 10 homes a year, it's going to be a little more intimate, a little more personal, where you can call me at 7, 8 o'clock at night and say, hey, Tyler, we're thinking this. All right, cool. Versus, you're in a neighborhood with a builder that's got the superintendent, it's got the salesman, that's got the warranty guy, it's got, it's a 7 to 3:30 operation, Yeah,
you don't, you want someone that you can get a hold of, because honestly, you're stressing about this.
You're stressing big time, especially if this is, a lot of people, this is their forever home. I would say probably 70% of people that build a home like to think that this is their move, No one, there's some people like maybe myself that's a builder that thinks, all right, yeah, I'll flip it in a couple of years, whatever.
Right.
But, the average person doesn't want to go through all the motion, just to say, all right, I'm out of here in 5 years.
Now, what would you say that you like to do? What is your specialty that you would like to do?
So me personally, what I love doing is I like doing, as the carpenter, I like doing the different volume ceiling. So whether you've got some sort of tray or some sort of cathedral or some sort of volume, I like doing that. The problem that I run into myself right now is my mind is always not so clear, and it's hard to buckle down and do it, but that's the one thing that I love doing. You
like giving it, you don't like the cookie cutter, just put flat ceiling.
Oh, no, yeah, you got to do something. The last house I did, every room had a ceiling, and as a carpenter, it's great, That's probably my favorite thing.
It's a lot of fun when you get to create, and you get to
create,
put your stamp on it, and that's the one thing that a lot of people who may not know about the trades is, we like to do certain things. We like to put our stamp on things. We like to do certain things the way we want to, like with what we do as far as the plumbing end.
Yeah.
Basically, nobody cares about us until it doesn't work.
For sure.
If it leaks or it doesn't drain, nobody cares. Other than that, it's just, it's out of sight, out of mind as long as it works.
For sure.
So, we've been taken for granted, and that's nothing wrong with that. We're okay.
You see some plumbers, they like leaving the letters all out, or tuck the letters to the wall on the pipe, or keep it all perfectly parallel and straight with each other.
I've seen some guys that do that, and that's great.
Yeah.
I just think to myself, I just hear the Hannibal Lecter music, you know what I mean? The classic music, and he's just, I just see that, that's a little, a little meticulous, but you know what? Whatever works.
For sure.
But the reality is you want to make sure everything's up to code, everything is looking good, and everything is working properly. It can be maintained.
Oh, yeah.
And because you're going to have to maintain this stuff. Your drains you're going to have to maintain. That's my thing. I want, it's being buried in the wall. It could be artwork, but it's getting buried in the wall. Your stuff and the house, the finished product.
Oh, yeah.
And I said that to other, folks that have been on there that do kitchens and bathrooms, and you get all the pretty work. You put the tile in, you put the walls in, you framed it out, you made this thing look like $1 million, and you guys get all the accolades.
Right.
We just get yelled at if it doesn't drain, or it doesn't if there's a leak.
You got a leak, something. Yeah, right.
That's what that's what we run into. Now, I want to ask you this: being in the trades, what did the first job you did look like?
So it's weird you ask, Steve. So I would say I'm probably a little bit outside the norm, because you're almost not going to believe me, but ever since I've been 8 years old, I went to one of my friend's birthday parties, and he got a little toolbox. And once he got that toolbox, I went to my father and said, hey, I want the same toolbox. So I got toolbox, started accumulating little things, hammer, nails, whatever. And I've been beating nails since I've been 8 years old. And so I've always worked for myself, except I had one summer, I was 16 years old, actually in this area over here, in the Crest Hill, Joliet area. Mm-hmm. I worked for a company that did siding and exterior work. So I did that for the summer, and I've always worked for myself. It's weird, It's definitely not like the normal situation here, and that I've known since a little age that I've wanted to be a carpenter. It's the weirdest thing.
You've had to goof something up. Because I got one. What we'll do is we'll probably take a quick break here,
okay?
And then what I'll do is I will get to my goof up that I did. When I first started, and then we can go with that. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to the Prepare to Repair show. I am your host, Steve Suarez, with RJ Graham Plumbing, back with Tyler Roeske from TBR Construction. And I want to wish everybody a happy new year. Hopefully, I'm going to start off the new year right. And keep those New Year's resolutions going.
Yeah, about it. Gyms are packed.
Yeah, they make a lot of money this time of year. But we were talking about home warranty or new homes and their warranties. What is a standard length on a new home warranty that's built?
So standard warranty,
not a home warranty, as in when you
correct.
buy a house. I'm saying you built the house and it's a new home. Your warranty on that.
Yeah. So the builder would be responsible for 12 months, 1 year after the day you close on the property. And I know a lot of places make you hold a 10-year structural warranty on the home as well.
Okay.
So as far as me, as an individual trade, as the carpenter contractor, the day the home closes is the day that the 12 months starts, Now,
the subs, are they held to that same?
Oh, yeah.
The same as well?
Yeah. So like we were saying on the break with, let's say something weird happens and someone backs out of a house or something changes and the home sits.
Right. And
I've had it happen to me multiple times. Me as the carpenter, the biggest thing that I have to deal with is like a floor squeak or an exterior door not swinging proper or
just minor things.
Yeah, minor things. Minor,
really
yeah.
Crazy.
But I've had houses where, they'll call me. It's like it feels like 3 years later, and it's like, wait, what? But that's you got to back it up. So a lot of times, like we were saying, within the first 30 days, builder goes in, takes care of some of the little punch list stuff that maybe got rushed through at the end of close, and then 11 months you back up the rest. You sign off on anything, and generally everyone's all happy. And a good, credible builder. Like I would think with where I'm going and where I'm headed. You try and maintain a great relationship with the homeowner and you want to, like the last home I built, I made the joke that it comes with a lifetime warranty, like, you'll take care of it till, the day you die, so to speak, within certain things. If it's wear and tear on a home, hey guys, you got to pay for it. The furnace is 15 years old. You got to,
it comes with the territory.
It comes with, being a homeowner, but, a lot of good credible builders, they'll back it up if it's, within reason for, over the 12-month period as well,
Yeah, one of our customers, she sold her townhome, lived there for like 20 years, sold her townhome and bought a new house that was built in Mokina and literally right down the street from her daughter and her grandkids and her husband. And she had nothing. She's only been there probably 2 years. She's had nothing but problems.
Sure. Water
problems. Just issues on top of issues. And, she's just beyond frustrated. And I told her, I said, at some point in time, there should be a list here. Okay, this is an issue, this is an issue, this is an issue. Come in here and take care of these. And and again, I could see how she would be because I run my company the way I would as a buyer. It's, all right, I don't want to hear any excuses. I want results. Give me the right answers. Get this taken care of.
Something.
That's it. That's what I want. I don't want motions. I want actions. I want resolution.
Yep.
And that's what everybody wants. When there's an issue, okay, cool. What are you doing to resolve it?
Yeah. Some people say, there's no such thing as problems. It's just solutions, Well, there's a solution to every problem, But, there's definitely, like, there's good plumbers, there's bad plumbers, there's good builders, there's bad builders.
Absolutely.
And that's the way it kind of works from what I see. If you got someone that loves what they do, like me personally, I'm a weirdo for the carpentry, for the building. Like I love it. It's a weird passion that I love, and there's nothing else I would ever want to do. And you get a guy like that loves what they do. They'll never work a day in their life, but they love coming to your home. You get those jobs where you're like, oh man, I can't wait to get off this job.
Right.
But you get that every once in a while. But 90% of the time,
Well, I've run into customers that were a little bit of a bear to deal with, but I put myself in their position. It's like,
sure,
I'm paying you to do this. Okay, that's it. And I need you to do this, and I want it done a certain way.
Sure.
I don't care if you do it with a bright smiling face or you do it with a scowl. The results, the request is still the same, and the results are still the same that have to follow.
For sure.
So it's no matter which way you do it, you have to perform and give them what they want for what they're paying you. Yeah. And that's only fair because that's what you would want. That's what I would want. But when we talk about obviously there's different, when you build a house, you can go as far as you want. you can go as crazy as you want.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure there's people that you've run into it where they're like, well, if we're going to do this to this bathroom, why don't we do this? Or we can do this, and we can do this. And before you know it, it's like, it costs what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you can get really crazy with it. Because you got standard. And
yeah. So, I mean, a lot of those crazy things, like if you've got someone that has a little bit of wherewithal on what they're doing, they'll come to you saying, hey, Tyler, hey, Steve, I've really wanted this, in my home. All right, we'll work it in, Or when I get the plan, I'll be like, hey, Steve, I think we should do this, or I think this would be really cool to do this. It's not going to cost a whole bunch of money, but I think you're going to love it,
Right.
So you try and go at things like that. So there's definitely sometimes a cutoff. I mean, you could have anything you want with any amount of money for sure, but to stay on schedule and to kind of, I guess, stay on track more than anything. There are cutoffs on when you can and can't do things, at least in my eyes, there is major, like in the basement, I wanted this lolly column moved. Well, geez, yeah, you're way late on that, So there's definitely things like that have their cutoffs on, when you can and can't do things. But a lot of times before you even get going, you try doing the selection process. You try going through picking out things that you want, picking out things like a lot of the homes we're framing now have curbless showers, which I think is smoking hot. The curbless. You hate them?
I hate them. Okay. Want me to tell you why?
Let's hear it.
Okay. All right, here we go. I'm glad you brought this up because all my guys that I talk to, they're looking at me. They're like, why? They're beautiful. Curbless showers are, to explain it to the audience, are showers that have it's flat with the floor. There's no edge there. There's nothing to step into.
Yep.
They're beautiful. They're clean. If you have somebody that is in a wheelchair or disabilities, they're absolutely perfect. They wheel right in there. You make it big enough, they're perfect. The problem is when that drain backs up,
there's nowhere to go.
Where does it go? Now, when you
bathroom,
when you have a curb there, you have somewhere for that water to get retained.
Sure.
And the reason why I say this is because depending on some bathrooms, they have them back to back, whereas if it's on a common line, you could be running a shower, or say you have a bathtub in the bathroom next door to it. You let that bathroom out, that line backs up, water's going to find the lowest point.
For sure.
So when you find out that this is backed up, this is going down heating registers, running right downstairs. There's nothing to stop it.
Sure.
And it's not to say that it wasn't going to overflow that, but I've seen where people have shower doors that are sealed where, it almost looked like a fishbowl.
Oh, yeah.
But there is some sort of retention where it gives you a fighting chance to catch it.
So I could see from the plumber's standpoint.
Yeah, that's why I don't like it. So
I think it's a little easier to clean. Maybe a little bit more streamlined stuff. But I could see that.
Right.
Yeah,
they're beautiful. Don't get me wrong. They look phenomenal. But I have a picture that I've actually posted on Facebook a few years back of one backing up. And it's creeping out the door to the hardwood in the bedroom.
Oh, yeah. That's panic mode.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying this is why I don't like it. And I've had debates with people on it. And I said, just you don't know when a drain's going to back up.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. The last house I built actually had a staircase out of the basement. So it was like a forced walkout, kind of. So we had a little concrete wing wall. Well, at the bottom of the stairs was a drain. Right. So the concrete guy actually came to me with a great idea saying, Tyler, I think I should pour a little 3-inch curb underneath this door because when the homeowners don't clean the leaves out of the drain or they don't just keep up with it because they're only going in and out of that, every once in a while, it's going to be in the basement, and the basement was finished in this situation. So it's the exact same scenario, I guess, when you look at it, but
they're beautiful. Don't get me wrong, and they're popular. It's a lot of these
super popular. We've done we built 2 neighborhoods in Lamont, both of them same thing. So we've done 34 units in one neighborhood, 40 in another, all of them curbless.
Yeah. So. And again, they're beautiful. So, I'm just going to say that's my opinion. And that's why it's my opinion. That doesn't mean it's fact. That doesn't mean it's gospel. It's just, I look at it from, if this thing backs up.
Oh, yeah.
And I look at human nature.
Human nature is,
there is a chance it can. So it's definitely something to look into. Now, I'm going to ask you, now when we talk about, we've talked about warranties, and, obviously the subs will handle their work on it. Now, is there anything more than a year, or is there anything that if I wanted to, I could say I'd like an extended, or if I can get something to do anything?
So from my knowledge, with a builder, I don't think a builder's going to give you anything more than that, just from my experience from seeing it. Obviously there's other things you could purchase and go through, but generally if you got a good, we were talking about, different types of neighborhoods you're building, and you go, you build in one neighborhood from another, obviously you could have problems in one and not in another, but generally speaking,
you shouldn't have any problems.
The builders I work for, they're all, pretty credible, and, no one wants a slandered name out there for sure, especially in today's times, where.
Well, the recession, we lost a lot. Lost a lot of those builders that maybe had a, kind of an iffy.
Oh, yeah.
They were gone.
They kind of slimmed it up a little bit. It's kind of going back to anyone can be a builder right now, with how busy the world is, but.
But the cream rises to the top. It always does.
It always does. Yeah, like I say, the pigs go to the pasture and the hogs get slaughtered.
So now, is there a specific time? Like, say, if I wanted to build a house, like now.
Yeah,
I can do that.
Yes, now's probably a good time.
I need personally you to get speaking, going right now.
I like now, and I'll tell you why I like now. Not today. It's a little cold. You go out the door. It's 4 degrees. You're like, do I go back in? But me personally,
you're building all year round.
Oh yeah, we build all year round. There's never a slow up as far as framing or building or anything. But the reason why I kind of like now, in particular, so like I look at the house I'm building right now. You put the foundation in December, and then by the time you get to the end, you're talking April, May. You could landscape, you could do the driveway, you could pour the flat work, you could do all that stuff, and bang, you're in for the summer. It's perfect. Versus, let's say we've got a couple or we've got whatever. 16 homes we framed in those handful of months that now people are going to close without a driveway. So you got a gravel driveway. You've got
I didn't even think of
a lot of restrictions to where, me personally, I wouldn't want to close with a gravel driveway. You have to sometimes, because you can't pour concrete. I shouldn't say concrete. You can't pour flat work. Some villages, they shut you off in November. Some will say, all right, let's see the weather. You got to have a certain amount of temperature in order to do it. But asphalt shuts down November generally, sometimes first couple weeks of December.
Yeah, but why would you risk? You're going to pour this real nice concrete driveway. Why are you going to risk?
At this point, concrete is off for flat work. Foundations get poured all through the winter. A lot of times we're framing the deck on the home, which is the first floor, and then they put heat in the basement, then they pour the basements after. At this point in the season, so now's a great time.
So maybe late fall, maybe around fall, fall, you can pour your foundation, work through the winter.
Yep.
And then come spring, you're putting in your landscape, you're doing your driveway. Yep. So come summer, that 4th of July barbecue that you have over, your house doesn't look like a bomb went off.
You're ready. Instead of a lot of these people that are closing, like let's say right now, in the springtime, they gotta reinvent it as far as, the general contractor is still tied to the job, so they got to go back there, rip out their temporary driveway. They got to put the final one, and then a lot of builders just do a final grade, which is just spread the black dirt raw. Some neighborhoods, it's a covenant to provide landscape and be full and complete, but some you don't have to. So sometimes you're just left with black dirt, and then, it's your responsibility then to find a landscaper, pick up, and then you're I didn't even enjoy it, this summer.
I think I'd rather have it completed so you don't, once you're done, you don't have anybody coming back, except for maybe the, little punch list of stuff.
For sure. I
would rather be finished.
The last house I built, it was the same thing where we were kind of getting distraught, where the permit was taking 3 months, 4 months. We're like, but then at the end of the day, we realized, hey, you know what? This actually worked out better to where now, you're complete. You're moving in the first week of August, and
absolutely,
and you're not slopping through mud. You're not dealing with that because this time of the season, sometimes it's frozen in the morning and and then after lunch it's muddy, and then if you got kids and a dog, it's a mess. That's one of the biggest things that I like. Or trying time.
Fantastic. So if people want to get in touch with you, like say they want to help you build that or they want you to build that forever home for them, how would they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so you could either find me on Facebook, Tyler Roeske, or Steve, am I allowed to give my phone number?
Yeah, go ahead.
My phone number is 708-828-3210.
And is there a website they can reach you on?
I do have a website, TBR Construction. I actually just started, believe it or not, the people I built my last house for, they started a website. So you could definitely check the website. I'm not too active on it here just yet, but
well, you're not real. Yeah, you're getting to that point where it's now they're going to be putting your work up there. But mean, for the most part, it's you're reaching it through different trade contacts. So it's a whole different. But once you start now, you may get a lot more people calling and reaching out to you, which is going to be good. I got to ask you, what is your where's Tyler's favorite place to eat?
So Tyler's
before I let you go,
so there's a spot in LaPorte, Indiana. So my parents have a summer place out there, and it's called Enzo's. It's an Italian place downtown LaPorte.
Really?
I love it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to, if anybody has any questions for the show, or they want to reach out and ask any questions to, forward to Tyler here, they can reach us by text at 708-964-5500. Or if you want to reach out to the show, you can check us out on prepare2repair.com or on Facebook at Prepare to Repair Show. So I want to thank everybody for listening.
Yeah, Steve, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being on here. Wish everybody a happy new year. And Kevin is great for filling in for Evan. He's helped man everything and keep it going. But I want to thank everybody for listening because, without them and our customers that call us and that listen to us, because we get a lot of people, just wanting information and asking questions about people who've been on the show. Without them, they make this all possible. Sure. So I do appreciate everybody listening, and we try to make it informative, fun. So until next week, I appreciate everyone for listening. And coming up next week, we got representatives from Ferguson Supply.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, we got them coming on. It's going to be great. So till then, we'll see you next week. Appreciate you listening.
It's flooded again.
Call the experts at RJ Graham Plumbing. RJ Graham Plumbing can handle your sump pump install or can install your backup system for peace of mind. As a fully licensed and insured plumbing company with over 20 years of experience, RJ Graham Plumbing can handle it all. And with RJ Graham Plumbing's money-back guarantee, it's fixed or it's free. Call RJ Graham Plumbing 7 days a week at 708-743-7426 or online at rjgrahamplumbing.com.
Now, the Success Journal. Here's Chris Whitting.
It looked like a fun outing for the Friedman family. They were all enjoying some treats at the ice cream parlor. Joe watched as his young daughter Judy tried to sip her ice cream soda through a straw. But the little girl wasn't having much luck. Being short, she'd bent the straw from the drink down to her mouth, which cut off the liquid's flow. The daughter's frustration with that drinking straw gave Joe a great idea. Back at home, he used thin cord to create a set of ridges in a drinking straw. Presto, the world's first flexible straw. Before long, Joe Friedman won a patent for his creation. Eventually, he built a factory to manufacture his new flexible drinking straws, which sold by the millions. Thanks to a little girl, Joe made a large fortune. With the Success Journal, I'm Chris Whitting.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Ready for an oil change? We can help get the right protection at the right price. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Daily Protection or Valvoline Max Life High Mileage Motor Oil with an STP oil filter for just $28.99. Visit one of our 6,000 stores or order from AutoZone.com for same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey, Carrie, we need that tax report by tomorrow. Hey, Bobby, get me that expenses.
For Hari's accounting firm, client growth is exponential.
We're a couple of accountants short.
He needs whip-smart accountants at whiplash speed.
Hey, so why aren't these receivables matching up?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Dave Ramsey Show, where common sense meets dollars and cents.
Patrick in Texas says, my wife thinks we should have an emergency credit card. How can I explain to her that this is a terrible idea? Well, the last time on earth that you need to go into debt at 18% interest would be at a time when your family has an emergency. What you need is money. If you had $20,000 set aside for an emergency fund, you wouldn't need an emergency credit card, right?
He's back. Dave Ramsey on WJOL. Weeknights at 6.
Honey, the basement is flooded again.
Call the experts at RJ Graham Plumbing. RJ Graham Plumbing can handle your sump pump install or can install your backup system for peace of mind. As a fully licensed and insured plumbing company with over 20 years of experience, RJ Graham Plumbing can handle it all. And with RJ Graham Plumbing's money-back guarantee, it's fixed or it's free. Call RJ Graham Plumbing 7 days a week at 708-743-7426 or online at rjgrahamplumbing.com.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out.
Welcome back to the Prepare to Repair Show. I am your host, Steve Suarez with RJ Graham Plumbing. Joining me, back with me, is Tyler Roeske with TBR Construction. And before the break, we were talking about, and you were, going off and saying that your first job was perfect right out of the box. You never made a mistake. And I'm going to tell you, you're a liar. Because you're going to sit here and tell me that my first job was great, and I'm just going to tell you
No.
and you're going to tell me that again, and I'm just going to go
No.
That is not right. So, but I'll let you go with that. I'll tell you, when I first got into plumbing, I got into it kind of late. I did rehab, and then I got into plumbing, and I was working for one of the bigger rooter companies, and I was doing sewer lines, and I was like, okay, sewer had an issue, and I had to locate it. So I located it going out of the house through the wall, and measured it from the basement wall to the pipe going out of the wall, and then I went outside and transferred that measurement and marked it. So they had a crew that went out there and dug it. So it was about 5 feet. So they dig it, and they're like, "Steve, I can't find the pipe." I'm like, "It's there. It's simple." So I go and they're like, "It's not here." I got down like 6 feet. They couldn't find it. So I go there. I'm like, I measured it off the wall in the basement, and then went outside and I measured it off the end of the house and, to where it should be. I didn't account for the garage.
Oh, yes, you were off 25 feet.
It had an attached garage. I was off 25 feet.
Ah, jeez.
They were mad at me. I never made that mistake again. So...
Yeah, the problem with that, digging it up, then you got to baby it with the settle-in and doing all that. Yeah,
and you don't like those pilot holes. It's like, okay, we found out it wasn't there. Yeah, it was. That's hey. You know what? Nobody starts out a pro. They all, you got to start somewhere.
Oh, for sure.
I'd laugh at that when I tell people. It's like, everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. I've made, a lot of the stuff that I've learned along the way is from other people and from just trial and error.
Oh yeah,
I didn't find out what it was, but I found out what it wasn't, and as you were going along, you're like, wow, because there's certain things that come up, and unfortunately, with building a new home, you're not going to find, you don't have that trial and error because there's not too many people that are building 4 and 5 houses through their lifetime because like you said, most of the time it's a forever home. But
now, someone told me one time, it's never about the mistake; it's about how you take care of the mistake.
Right.
Just with what we've got going on every day, there's wheels spinning everywhere, and people make mistakes. That's it. It's
there's a lot of moving parts.
A lot of moving parts. So many moving parts, actually. And then when you got different selections, different options, and you're working on so much stuff, and you have conversations and. You could be in the wrong house doing the wrong thing, thinking, all right, I thought this was right. But like I said, it's about how you take care of it. A superintendent, when I first started early on, he told me that. He's like, Tyler, I don't care if you make a mistake. It's about how you take care of the mistake. And ever since that, I mean, that opens your eyes to so many different things, Yeah. Or at least my eyes,
You know what I ran into that was really odd, and I tell people this, and they just kind of look at me. I was at a house that it had a bad water heater. And I asked them how long they'd been living there. They said, we've only been living here, 4 years. The house is only 4 years old.
Sure.
And I'm like, really? I go to look at the date of the water heater because if your water heater, most standard warranties on a water heater is 6 years, tank and parts from the manufacturer on your decent brands out there. So I go there, it was a decent brand, and I look at it, and I'm like, all right, well, you should still be under warranty. I look at the date on it. The date was almost 10 years old. And they're like, well, it's a new house. It's only 4 years old, and they go, how could this happen? Well, you being in new construction, you know that if this was the fifth phase of this
neighborhood, community,
So what they did was they bought
a container of them or whatever,
exactly,
and they finally got to putting it in. The thing, I know you loved water heaters. I hear you all the time with the water heaters. The thing is, I'm sure you probably run it where there was a brief period where you couldn't get a water heater, right? I mean, that was probably middle of the summer, was it? You couldn't get a water heater?
They were having some issues with
the last
production.
house I built, the plumbing inspector made a comment about the water heater, saying, I could tell this was bought at a big box, and not a Bradford White, is it?
That's what we installed.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, dude, plumber said he can't get it. He warranties everything, and he'll have to back it up. That's the end of the day,
the problem that they said that the reason why they couldn't get water heaters, or the issue with them, is because of the insulation.
Oh.
The chemicals used for the insulation, the spray foam insulation, that I think they were making it in Texas,
sure.
And one of the factories had an issue, and the production was slow, so they couldn't get the insulation there in order to produce the water heaters like they needed to.
Sure.
Because in 2015, they changed the energy rating on them to make them more fuel efficient, or energy efficient, I should say. So it increased the insulation on them, which made them a little bit wider and a little bit taller. So I think that was one of the issues that they had, which delayed production. But in addition to everything else that's going on now, but as we're talking about, like I said, as we get in more with the new construction so I'm building a house here, and it's moving right along. I'm building a house. I broke ground, and everything seems to be going along. Now it's being framed. You're handling all the subs. Now, we were talking over the break that this takes, what is a time frame? What is a standard time frame from the time that you break ground to the time that you're complete and going through that proverbial punch list?
Sure. So I would say, Steve, just going back to your example where you own a property, you hire me as a GC, we're doing an on-your-lot build.
Mm-hmm.
I would say best case scenario, 5 months. Worst case scenario, 7 months. That's what I would say. That seems to be the timeline of where I'm at with even some little delays here and there. You catch a week here, you catch 2 weeks here, just waiting on a trade, which is a common thing right now. Everyone's so stinking busy.
Well, that's why also, let me stop you here too, is now with where we're at right now with the state of products and being able to acquire certain products and delays, that may push that back a little bit. So if anybody's listening that wants to buy,
the general rule of thumb is the day the hole gets dug is the day you order windows. Now it's like the day you get working drawings from the architect is the day you order the windows. Windows are one of the craziest things. Windows and exterior doors are very backed up. I mean, at the earliest you're getting them is 10 weeks. At the latest you're getting them is, I mean, I don't even want to say the latest, but I mean, I got a home I'm actually building right now, and I ordered the windows 16 weeks ago, and they're coming in this week, which is crazy to think. I mean, luckily we don't even have the home frame, but I was so far ahead of it that I got just a working drawing from the architect, which means no measurements, no nothing, just basic floor plan, basic elevation, and then, I can compute the sizes myself, just from knowing, height above the roof on the porch, what size window would work, all that good stuff. So, I mean, you need to get ahead of as much as you possibly can.
Proactive.
Being proactive. I mean, the windows is the biggest thing that just pertains to me as the carpenter contractor. That's the biggest thing.
Now, you were saying that during the break, we were talking, because Kevin was talking about the house that he built.
Yeah.
And you were saying that some places are building these and as quickly as 120 days.
120 days, yeah, 120 calendar days. I know that's one of the big things that one of the superintendents that I have to follow. He pushes, like he's tough on the schedule, really tough. So I mean, it's got its pros and its cons. I mean, with being in a community like that, yes, you're in fast, yes, you're that. I mean, sometimes you get a lot of callbacks on things. It's not necessarily, the most ideal situation,
That's my thing. Speed kills. Speed
speed does kill.
Slow down, get it done right, and then this way you're not coming back. Because I will tell you a lot of, on our end, because we do a lot of service and repair, that's most of what we do. I don't think I hear too much of people saying that, I love the builder that did this. I always hear, the builder that did this, he did this.
Shortcut in here or shortcut in there.
Or the plumber that did this. And it's like, because we do a few. I mean, we don't do a whole lot. And and a couple of the ones that we have done were larger ones. I mean, one we did in Burr Ridge, it was like 10 bathrooms. And another one we've got that's going to be coming up in Barrington it's like 13 bathrooms.
Oh, yeah.
So, but a lot of the other ones we bid out, and we were higher than anybody else. But I was given the warranties on the water heater. I was given the top warranties on the water heater, 6 years labor. We were given the 3-year pumps warranties on the pumps, labor included.
Sure.
We were given a 5-year labor warranty on the piping and everything and all the stuff that we did. So you were getting a full service warranty on all the stuff we did, and they really. It wasn't about that. It was, I need to see that number and how it compared to other numbers that I got of guys that just churn these out. And
for sure.
I'm not churning them out like that. I need to make sure that my name is on this product.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that when they're done, they're done. And like that one house that we did that had the 10 bathrooms, they were upset with every trade that was there except the plumbing.
Yeah.
Because even at this house being so large and having bathrooms at both ends and up on the top floor, whenever they turn on hot water, they have hot water right when they want it.
Yeah, that's huge.
And they don't run out.
Yeah.
So, and everything
I heard
flows.
a story one time. We built a house for a guy. Last home he built, you're probably going to get a kick out of this. It didn't make too much sense to me until I saw it. But so they had a bathroom over the garage. So over the garage, they spray foamed the bottom of the floor joist. So they encapsulated all the plumbing. They probably dropped the ceiling a foot.
Okay.
And I guess over a year span, the toilet, whenever the toilet would cycle, like so you flush the toilet, it's building the water back up, would the, what do you call, like above the valve or above the water pipe coming into the room, there's like a little
air chamber?
A chamber, yeah. The air chamber would leak. Every time that it would like get water, which sounds weird, but I saw it happening. It didn't make too much sense. So it filled up the ceiling in the garage, and then the foam was holding it like a cooler. And then one day the ceiling just dropped on the cars in the garage.
Oh.
And it was, like you said, one of them crazy plumbers just going in, going out, and
your air chambers. Yeah, your air chambers are not supposed to hold water, or not hold water. It's not supposed to leak. I mean, they're supposed to be, usually for hold air, but they do fill up with water. But also there's some places that are requiring it by code or added to the code to use arresters now on the instead of air chambers. They're spring loaded. So I mean, areas like Schaumburg have been using them. But as far as anything, being changed around here, mostly everybody uses standard air chambers, and they shouldn't leak. You shouldn't get any water out of them. Nothing should come out of them.
Right.
They're sealed. That's what I meant to say, that they don't leak, but
I understand.
They're sealed. They're not supposed to have any water coming out of them.
But no, I mean, I see it couple different ways. Some builders, they supply all the fixtures and the tubs and the hot waters, which is
that's fine.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I mean, I would say at that point, then they hold the supplier to the fire for a warranty, but then you got to pay the labor. So then it's a dispute of, all right, who pays the labor to reinstall?
As a homeowner, I don't care.
Yeah,
I just want this fixed, and I want it taken care of, and I don't want to fight about it.
Majority of the builders out there that I work for and see, they do like a little 2-step process. So at the 30-day, after you're in the home for 30 days, if you have a little list of cleanup stuff like general
it's
stuff.
that punch list
Yeah,
that you go
exactly. You clean the list up, and then at 11 months you go through and you do the nail pops, you do little hairline cracks, you do all that good stuff. And if there's anything in between, you got to make good on it, and that's it. Well,
what we're going to do is we're going to take another quick break, and then we're going to go through warranties on it because I have some questions on that as far